have a special guest today, another chef, Chef Ryan. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you. Appreciate being here. It was honored when you guys asked me to come.
We were just waiting for the right moment, man. We knew you were going to be on, Nutley's finest, baby.
wanted
We're
to
here.
show Christmas time, but we think you'd hate us if we asked you.
Yeah, it was definitely busy, but I've been busy, since the opening in October, and you guys know how that feels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
We have two chefs today, so I'm a little outnumbered over here. I don't know how this is going to go.
And we're both from Nutley.
And we're both from Nutley.
And we work together.
My wife's from Nutley, so I got one.
You're the meat and the sandwich tonight,
together,
baby.
so it's like-
He's from Nutley by proxy.
That's true. Through insertion, I believe they call it.
All right, that's pretty good. So, listen, I was going to ask, but obviously you're from Nutley, but tell us a little bit about where you grew up, kind of what you do, give the audience a little bit of an introduction.
Yeah, for sure. I was born in New Jersey, but I definitely moved around a little bit as a kid. My father was in the printing industry, still in the printing industry 50 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
He didn't retire yet?
No.
Mr. D.
I know.
Still putting it out.
He is. As you know, we sold Fascino, which I'm sure we'll get into. But as a kid, moving around, we went to Miami, Comac, Long Island, those two spots mainly. And then by the time I hit kindergarten, I was back into Nutley. Belleville, and then Nutley in kindergarten. And I grew up there. I've actually been in Nutley up until 3 years ago. I'm going to be 46 in March. So it was a long time.
So 43, I get to get out of Nutley this year? I'm so fucking excited.
Contract.
Yeah. Contractual agreements.
Listen, I absolutely love Nutley. I love when people from Nutley come to visit my restaurants, because when you grow up in a neighborhood like that, where I almost like to say Nutley's like the new age, Newark of the 50s, where everybody knew each other.
So true.
Everybody took care of each other.
Predominantly Italian in the 50s. No,
Yeah. Jamie was the only Irish guy in the whole.
That's not good. And then he had to fucking work in an Italian restaurant. That was the contract.
That's why I have the worst accent, because
He
I
married an Esposito, so.
There you go.
Yeah, I overcompensated on every facet.
But growing up, I was not very good in school, and also diagnosed ADHD, which definitely some people would say are not a real thing until you actually have it. It's a real thing, and at 40, almost 6 years old, I definitely still struggle with it.
It's a prerequisite to be on this show, though, by the way. Just so you know,
I think to be an entrepreneur,
you have to have it.
You have to have it.
You got to have it. You got to have the ability to look at 30 things at once and be good at them, you know?
It's an interesting thing because, it's trying to stay focused on one thing is obviously a very hard thing. But I actually noticed through my career that the more I do, it actually becomes, an organized way of keeping me interested.
Well, that's
it's an asset. It's an asset. Keeping you interested. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
because you're coming up with new ideas constantly, right?
True.
And evolving and changing and creating.
True. And I think I'll speak for me, the school system too. I was highly intelligent, went to great schools and everything, but because I couldn't stay focused, that redundant or monotonous instruction every day was very hard to focus. But when it was something I did right? I liked skateboarding at the time. I liked doing things with my hands, right? When it was something like that is where I excelled. Yeah. The problem was, what did I do with 90% of the time? So
sure.
I fell into that.
Sure.
It's funny we're talking about this because right now my oldest is 15, Jaden and Brandon is 13. They're at that point where every day it's like, Dad, what is school for anyway? Truly, what? Oh my God. And I'm like,
yeah, how do you answer it, right?
For me, I'm like,
did you tell them they're right?
Listen,
yes,
I
can't do it in front of my wife because she's like,
but you got
scholar for life.
But it's like anything else. And even my son will say stuff, and I don't necessarily. I actually agree, right? But it's cool. But it's a lot of shit in life. You just got to finish it no matter what.
Right.
There's discipline in here. There's growth.
Absolutely.
It's not just what's it for.
Right. Yeah. And the other part of it is the good lesson in there is you got to look for the good in it, right? Because you're going to go every day. It's automatic. There's no way you're not going to school, so you might as well enjoy it. That's what I tell my kids.
School's going to teach you life skills.
Of course.
No doubt about it.
And that's sometimes, not sometimes, probably every day of my life, I wish I'd spent more time caring about it because I think that, you can, people say like, aren't you happy with your success? And I'm like, I'm never happy. I want to continue to grow.
Right.
And maybe if I put a little more time when I was younger to be the sponge that I should have been,
Right.
I may have gotten where I am today 10 years ago.
Right.
You know?
I look back on the same
And where I'll be 10 years from now at, say, 55,
Right.
I could have been now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everybody has their own process. Everybody has their own amount of time, you know?
Right.
The story about Colonel Sanders and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
God.
The greatest
65
story in the
years
world.
old, right?
65 years old.
Start making chicken, baby.
Yeah.
So it can be done in any chapter in your life.
It
man.
can be done anytime.
And you can double down whenever you want. So if you thought you lost 10 years, right? For the next 10 years, you just got to double down. It is simple math. But
Yeah, when you feel like you're doing enough, just call Phil.
Yeah.
You know, that's the bottom line.
That's it.
When you feel like you have too much going on, man.
I'm like, what else are we doing? And listen, it's kind of what you were saying. It was maybe not necessarily like the not happy enough, but like fulfillment, and being curious. Like,
Excuse me.
I'm sure, like we're like, what else can we fucking do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where else can I go?
Yeah.
And it's not money driven. It's more just like passion and like, cool, I got to hear. Like,
It's
you're
also
kind of saying it there.
It's excitement to see
It
what
is.
you're
Oh my
capable
God.
of, right? Like,
100%.
I was not a great student. It's not because of the work. It's because I couldn't sit still for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably up until a year ago, maybe, you know? And I still have problems focusing. I really do. But it's an asset now, and it's a benefit, and that's how we make it.
Do you try any supplements for any of that?
I never
It's
have.
pre-workout
No.
all day.
I wouldn't say all day. I dry scooped in the car. Yes, I did. But I'm not taking it all day. I don't drink coffee anymore. So like that's my
Yeah,
that's
I
my
drink black coffee, but I do take Alpha Brain, which I
I
thought
know, I know people that take.
I have
Joe
in my-
Rogan takes that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
he actually
It's
owns
not
the
a plug,
company.
but if
He
it
owns the
works,
company. He's a partner in the company with Aubrey Marcus Aubrey.
Yeah.
But
I have it in my medicine cabinet. I've never taken it.
it's good. It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, I take it.
Is it for recollection? Like what part of
It's
it?
got
helps
lion's
you?
mane in it, and it's got some other stuff. But
Okay.
but yeah, it's helped for focus.
Did you take it today?
Of course I did.
Oh, is it? No, because Rogan, he says in the commercial,
Yeah, it takes
I don't take it before any. I take it before every podcast,
Yeah.
before every UFC event, before anything major where I have to use my brain. I take it.
I've been taking that. I've also taken some other supplements that my wife gives Luca, my middle son, which had also something that helps you focus as
He
well.
seems like a wild man. Like the kid is chock full of energy.
So
right?
he's chock full of energy, but he's like a good kid. The other day he said he comes walking in our room and he's crying. He's like, we're like, what's wrong? He goes, don't get mad at me. I was playing a game on my tablet and I said, son of a bitch. I meant to say son of a gun. So like he's the good one, right?
That's great.
He's like,
How old?
he's 10.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah.
He's scared to, and it's not that he's scared to get in trouble. He's scared that he's doing something wrong. He actually cares.
That's
about
real
doing something.
integrity.
He doesn't want to disappoint.
No,
you. Yeah.
no. You know?
Brooklyn's the same way. She's 10 years old.
And when Nicholas was 10, and I was like,
Opposite.
he was like, Dad, what the fuck? But, I mean, it just, they're all different. And
They are.
My son's like that too. My son won't curse. Like he'll text it to somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or say
But
something
not to
weird
you,
stuff.
not out loud, not.
He won't.
Yeah.
If he drops it, he'll be like, same thing. He'll look, and I'm like, it's all right. Just don't do it again.
Yeah, Jaden has gone through kind of a cycle, I would say, where it was cool for a minute and she'd be like, what the hell? That's how she started, you
Yeah.
know? And then he's like, and then she'll be like, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
And then she'll use it in sentence. I'm like, Jay, it's not cool just because you think you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to yell at you,
Yeah,
but you have better words in your vocabulary.
Sure.
You should try and use those first.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And don't do it in front of grandma. And
Yeah.
it's a respect thing. And they'll get upset because they see you in a different light.
Yeah.
So you should hold yourself in that same regard. You know what I
100%.
mean? That your grandparents see you. So
Don't look at me.
but my little one, same way. Brooklyn's the same way. Brooklyn won't miss school. She's like, Dad, I have perfect attendance. I'm like, I got it. I'm like, congrats. Like, way to go, kid. She will not miss school. It's unbelievable. While the other two are like, Jaden looks for any reason.
I think Nicholas
literally.
we're only in the half of the year, and Nicholas has been over what he's missed.
I'm
already.
sure.
So,
Is he above 10?
uh,
I think Jaden's at like 17 days, and she's like,
but she does homeschooling.
she doesn't anymore.
Oh,
She went
she
back.
went back.
This year she went back because she was worried about her social life, And I was like, I pleaded with my wife. I'm like, babe, if there's anything we can agree on, let's keep her homeschooled. It's really good for her. She excels, you know, because she has to.
Yeah.
There's nobody else, right? She's got to rely on herself.
Yeah.
Can't cheat. She can't get, you know, and she's a good looking kid. So she's all about boys all of a sudden. And it's just like, you know,
let her go to school.
Yeah.
she's in school and it's good. It's good. I've gone through my own process, right? But
Sounds like more it's about you than her.
isn't everything?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? I would say that's a Nutley centric thing, but then I met you, so
Listen,
it's a Harrison thing too.
Absolutely.
I want to get back. I want to get back.
I told you we sidetracked.
Because
this is our show.
No, it's cool. It's cool. But I think it's cool for if absolutely if any kids that happen to see this or teenagers happen to see this, you know, because I'm have an 18-year-old at home that doesn't know what to do, right? And right now he's made the decision to go to electrical school, which I'm super excited for him.
Trades are awesome.
That's great.
I don't know if he knows what he's getting himself into, but he is doing HVAC as a work study right now,
Awesome.
which he's also been offered, you know, to stay. But he says he wants to go the electrical route. Whatever. If it's a trade school, I'm down. Right. He don't want to go to college, and I can't argue that because I didn't want to go to college.
I don't want my kids going to college.
Yeah.
Same.
And the truth is, like, you know, at 10 years old, my mother started teaching me how to cook. My mother was a recipe developer for women's magazines, and he knows a lot of this stuff, you know, because we grew up together. But, you know,
The best. Your mom's the best, man.
you know
The
what?
sweetest.
She's gonna kill me because she gave me cookies to give you guys, and I left them at home.
I'm kind of glad.
But
you
it's-
did. I'll be honest with you.
It worked out. But yeah.
Shout out cookies.
So
shout out meal prep.
Stephanie called me like I was 10 minutes away, and Stephanie called me. She's like, "You left the biscotti," and I was like,
What am I gonna
I
do?
said, "Jamie's been working."
Mario,
on
hold
this."
on a second. Move up your chair a little bit. Just closer to the mic. That's it.
So, anyway, so she started teaching me how to cook, and it was something that I actually loved, right? You know, reading a book in school, skip. Homework, skip. You know, reports, skip. Cooking, there.
You can produce right away. You can actually see something come.
So by I'd say 12, so she started off with just like setting up dinners because my brother and I were latchkey kids, right? So both of my parents, right? Latchkey, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
It's like an old word.
Yeah,
but,
it's a good one. It's a good one.
so
Showing your age.
we I know, right? So I would get home and she'd leave a note, you know, take the tray, put it in the oven, season with salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. At one point, she didn't set something up and I made dinner. Maybe it was 11 or 12 years old, and I made dinner, and she was like, whoa, like, you know, he knows what to do. So then she started leaving me recipes because she was a developer. So she'd leave me recipes, and I'd start cooking dinner, and it just became a love, and I started watching the Food Network. Like,
That's when it started popping in the 90s. Yeah.
it was literally right when it came out, you know,
That's
like
all I
Emerald
did.
I
Lagasse,
watched it 'cause I
Mario Batali,
Yep.
Bobby Flay, you know, all
the three OGs.
Yeah.
Those guys ran it for years, right?
Yeah,
And Iron
Bobby,
Chef.
Bobby Flay's still running him. He's the biggest. Him and what's his name? White hair.
Zakarian?
No. Sorry. The one with the flames.
Oh, Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. Sorry.
Guy Fieri.
So two of them are probably like, you know, and they're the two highest paid there too.
I'm sure they take up 80% of the programming in a day.
Yeah.
At one point, I think they both had 4 shows or something, like just
It's
crazy.
nuts. But anyway, I love that, you know, and to be honest, I grew up saying I wanted to be an actor, but thought I was too cool to take like acting lessons. I wouldn't go to theater. Like I just was like, no, I'm not doing that, you know.
Just turn the camera
Which
on
is
and I'll
higher.
shine.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Which
Just show
didn't
up.
happen, you know. So I have
Not just acting, anywhere else in life. I just got
so I have a cousin who
Just gotta be there, baby.
So
Show
I,
up.
I have a cousin that felt that I had the look and all that, and he was like, "Let's just give him a shot. Maybe he'll just be a phenom and just like step in front of the camera."
Right.
I tried out for that movie Kids.
Oh,
Do you remember Kids?
Yeah, I do, of course.
I skated. That was my.
So
a bunch of
I
my friends
tried out for that, and they were like, "This kid doesn't know what the fuck he's doing." And
Get
you
this
know,
guy outta here.
It never happened, right? So whatever. I started washing dishes when I was 16 years old, and I started making salads at Casa Toronto.
Wow.
For you know, what's his name? Toronto. I forgot the first name, but anyway, Casa Toronto. Then I worked at Backstreet Gourmet, and
Nutley Classics.
Yeah, man.
Nutley's finest. I love it.
exactly. I was washing dishes at Cafe Saint Honore for Joe, and it's just like the thing was I had the hustle heart. And I always say this all the time to my son. I'm like, dude, you need to find that drive to want to make money. You want to spend money, but you want to spend my money.
Right.
Spend your own money,
right?
But you need to make it, right?
I would say our parents were a little more strict in budgeting, right? Like, I'm the worst probably of all time. I told my daughter this week specifically, I said,
I don't think he's wore the cowboy hat since the time he put it on in Utah, and that's it.
I'm going to wear it again this year,
Okay,
bro. Let's go. Hey, Park City, we're coming for you, baby. But I told Jaden, I want to know every nickel you spend this week. She's like, even on Amazon? I was like, Jay, every dollar. She's like, lunch? I'm like, everything you spend.
Yeah.
She's like, Sheen? I'm like, Jay, every fucking dollar. I want to know this week. So
Buy a lollipop.
let's find out whatever it is, you know? But our parents were tight, dude. Like, we got $5 for lunch, and that was it. Figure it out.
100%.
So guess what? We figured it out, right? And you had to get a job to make
culture was
money, man.
different too. Those were called luxuries back then, right? Going out to eat was a luxury, not a necessity.
Oh,
right?
so-
there was no Uber, nothing. So to have extra money, kind of.
And that's what got me more into like the whole scene because, right before that, as soon as I got my license, I was young. I was young for my age. I got my license March of junior year. So the minute I got my license, I was working at Casa Toronto, making salads on Saturdays. I worked at Bella Casa Caterers in Belleville for my work study program. And then I delivered pizza twice a week. So I worked 6 days a week.
You made pretty good money.
And I was
for
making
like,
a few $100 a week.
Yeah, for
doing
6
this.
days.
Yeah,
great.
exactly. So it was great.
Yeah.
And then when my parents like really started pushing the whole like, he loves this, let's go with it.
Right.
Then my father was like, okay, let's pick a place in New York City for your birthday. You get to pick. It'll be like our splurge for our family.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I want to go to Gotham Bar and Grill. We went to Gotham. I want to go to Picholine. We went to Picholine. I want to go to Union Square Cafe. You know what I mean?
Became
I
a
was
thing.
picking all these things out of that,
Right.
a book that like read like 3 stars, and
Was
stuff
it
like,
Michelin Guide at the time, or what
no,
was it? Were the
no, it was like this. It was like
Guide
this
to
book.
New York Fine Dining or
Yeah,
something?
and it
I
had like
remember that.
a picture of the chef and the manager,
right.
picture of the dining room, the highlights on the menu.
That's great.
My mother has it. I gotta find it.
When did you start that? Like,
It was 94, 94, 95.
so like your 17th birthday, basically, you were like, all right,
100%.
we're all in now.
And then my brother was into food, so it was his birthday, my mom's birthday.
That's awesome.
And so 4 times a year we were going to Manhattan.
You guys still try and keep that up, or?
We were at Gabrielle Cruther a few months ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How was it?
Gabrielle's probably my top 5 restaurants in New York City.
Wow.
And I've been there twice. I absolutely love it. I worked for Gabriel when he was the CDC at John George.
Okay.
The first year I was there for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And he he was tough, but he was the man, And
Place looks amazing. I haven't been.
you haven't been?
I haven't been. I know it sounds.
It's
We haven't been.
yeah.
We haven't been.
It's
We'll
an
go.
incredible meal.
What do you think he spent on plateware? Because I see his plateware is just
Yeah. The bread-
sickest. Dude, I'm telling you.
He gives this like German bread as the bread for the table, and it's like this high in a crystal glass, and it's insane. But so we went there. We're going to Nobu this Saturday.
Nice.
No, we're actually going in Atlantic City because we're going
You
to see.
got one there?
Yeah, we're going to see Tom Segura.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where's the Nobu? In the boardwalk?
It's at the Nobu Hotel at Caesars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even.
So they opened a Nobu Hotel at Caesars
Wow.
Palace. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I go there. I love Noble. I've been in like different countries.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
yeah.
I'm not a big AC guy. I was there a few weeks
That's
ago.
what I'm saying.
I just
You're right.
realized
I'm not
that.
either, but like I go for either a show or
Right.
you
That's
know,
cool. That's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
We kind of just went on
But
a
I
whim
will
to get
gamble.
2 nights away. Yeah, I gambled a little bit. I don't know. It's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like I'm past my prime.
We went for
with
Stephanie's
AC.
birthday like 2 summers ago, and it was a wild night. But like, I mean, it was funny because we were like, we're in our 40s, right? And he knows my best friend Tiziano, and we were like dancing and having a great time, and we were like, all right, it's we've been out all night, let's go. And we walk out of the club. It's like 1 a.m. We're like, what?
Early.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was like 4 or 5.
And we showed up at 10, and they were like, it's not open yet.
Well, early. Like, we just want to knock this out really quick.
Yeah. Come on, let us do our thing. So
man.
culinary school, right?
Yeah,
Did your
went to-
parents push you?
They didn't have to push me.
Okay.
I mean,
you.
yeah, they supported me, and I wanted to go bad. Like most kids are like, I want the summer, then I'll go to school, right? I went to culinary school 2 weeks after I graduated high school. Like, I wanted to go. I wanted to get it over with. I wanted to start working in Manhattan. My mom was part of the Women's Culinary Alliance in New York City, so she connected me to.
Let me pause you for a second. What's your mom's background? You told me she made recipes and everything. Was she like trained or just
No, self-taught. Wow. She just loved cooking. She was an artist as a kid. Like, she went. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure she went to Montclair State for art. She just never finished. But she was very into cooking, and I guess a lot of people noticed. So she started a catering company on her own, just doing it from the house. And also,
You guys have creative genes in your family, like your grandfather, bro.
my grandfather, my father,
A legend, by
my
the way.
mother's side, 100%.
Yeah,
Like,
a legend.
Yeah.
You got to talk about Papa Mac for like a second, bro. The guy deserves accolades. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a special guy.
Special guy, bro.
My grandfather, his name's Paul Martino. He grew up in Newark. He owned a construction business, but he also played the saxophone, loved to cook, and he actually asked my father's grandmother to teach him how to cook he must have been, I guess, in my age.
Oh, he
Like,
started.
early
Oh, I
40s.
didn't
Yeah.
know that part of it.
Yeah. No, well, don't wait. Also, though, he had it in him because his father owned a restaurant in Newark.
Was it a
Paul's Lunch? It was open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yes, I have no idea.
That's a cool name, though.
It is a cool name.
Yeah.
And all of my grandfather and his siblings, there were 6 or 7 of them. They all worked there.
That's part of the gig. That's your labor force right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
his sisters,
There's no
my
hiring
teenagers,
other
were
people.
like the waitress.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's no payroll. That's
Bust
amazing.
their ass and hopefully you get a piece of it.
So,
Paul lived 4 houses down from us, and
yeah.
he's just a man. He made our pasta. Like, my sous chef was on vacation. He would make the cavatelli. Like,
Yeah.
just anything you needed, bro.
When Jamie first asked me, do you mind? Because we were buying cavatelli from my grandfather. It was one of the pastas we bought. And then we made all the other pasta. Jamie's like, would you mind if I bought from Papa Mac and put it on the menu? I was like, you need to put Papa Mac. He's like, how about PM? Can we just do PM? And I was like, all right, PM cavatelli, so that people can ask. But it was Papa Mac.
I had to spend a minute on him because he's just a special guy, man, all around. You know.
He died a year ago. Has it been a year or 2 years? My God, feels like forever because he was around us so much. And he died at 93, I believe.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 93, and he was good up until he was 92.
He was.
The last year was just a little rough.
And he would say it too. Like, I'd walk by with the dogs. He'd be like, "Hey, James, how you doing?" He's like, "Not good. Love you, kid. Keep it up." That's the way he was. That's the way he was. Brutally, honest.
He was brutally honest. But he came to the restaurant and he would make the biscuits for the or it was not biscuits. It was like almost like they were like Parmesan biscuits or Fontina biscuits we used to put on the table. And he'd come in the morning and work with my mother, who was the pastry chef at the restaurant.
He was a big part of Fashion.
He was
from
huge,
day one.
huge
There all the time.
His picture was up there, and they still had it up. They just renovated, so they took it down. So I'm actually gonna go pick it up because
Nice.
it's a special picture.
It is.
It's a picture of him standing in a suit at 16 years old in Newark. Yeah, and it's like a zoot suit.
Yeah, of course.
Sergio Tectini. He had a nice suit on.
But getting back, I went to New York. I went and worked for Matthew Kenny, who was at the time a very famous chef. He's still pretty big, but
they did a movie about him, right? It was on
it was
Netflix,
about
no?
something else. It was about finance and money.
Right, but he was.
It wasn't him though. It was the girl that he was partners with. He just happened to be a major
aligned with them. Yeah, what was it? Matthew's Food and Drink? What was it called?
The plate that was one of them. He had like 6 restaurants. I worked at Monzu. My CDC was at
I went to Monzu. It was downstairs.
It's where
all brick.
It's where Lord Fish Bar is.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, but Monzu was
And
very
above
different.
it was Prada. So I was
Okay.
like sold. I want, like 17 years old. I was 18 years old.
You had the discounts there?
No, there was no discount. I was spending my weekly check on a shirt, or maybe a pair of socks. But I went to go work for Matthew Kenny. Adam Perry Lang was my CDC, and that was like my first into like the scene and stuff. I spent about a year with them, And when Adam left, they brought Bill Telepan in to be a consultant. I met Bill Telepan, who I ended up going to work for I went to go work for Boulay at Boulay Bakery.
At this point, you were graduated school. You did your.
I graduated. I did
my extern.
I did it at Monzu.
Okay.
Yeah. So I graduated. I went to Boulay.
What was Monzu? Was it like?
It was
French,
Sicilian.
Asian?
Sicilian.
Really?
Yeah. So Monzu is actually the name of the chefs that took care of the Sicilian army. That was and they were like little old women. We have to fact check this, but I'm like 90% sure that they were women. Monzus were women that cooked for the Sicilian like generals and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
That's very unique name.
And
it
Adam
sounds Asian, doesn't it, Monzu?
Yeah. But no, it was Sicilian, and Adam actually went and spent like a week or two with one of the Monzus.
Nice.
So that was a cool place to work at. And then Bill came in to consult, and he met me, and we talked. We stayed in touch. I went to spend a year with Boulay. That was where my world changed, because I went with a chef that, even though Michelin wasn't in Manhattan yet, it was Michelin starred food. It was Michelin starred chefs that were like on your case.
And Boulay is like,
yeah,
top 10 of all time.
At the time, I mean, the original Boulay, which was only a few years before that, was like the #1 restaurant in New York City.
Right.
So, and I worked with, Galen Zamara, who is now in Park City, Utah, but he had Moss.
Yeah, I remember.
And Atlas.
Yeah.
He also ran one of Jeffrey Zakarian's restaurants as well.
What was Boulay like, man, on a day-to-day?
So he actually was not in the kitchen very much.
Okay.
Because he was like building the empire that he eventually got, which is now gone. But he was working on the Austrian restaurant. He was trying to reopen like the original Boulay upstairs, the Japanese restaurants. Like he was just trying.
Boulay Bakery, like there wasn't there.
I was in Boulay Bakery.
Okay,
so Boulay Bakery was you walk into a bakery to the right, and then you walk through a vaulted doorway, and that was like 4-star cuisine.
Sick dining room.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
did you go to the old Boulay when it was? No.
Heavy drape.
Sick dining room.
Wasn't eating much back then.
What year was this? What do we fast forward to, like 98?
99.
Okay.
99.
My lunch was like at the Tombs or something. So
A bologna sandwich.
yeah.
Whatever
Bologna
they have,
mustard.
bro.
Right before you came in, I was telling him how I was in the Tombs once for like 30 hours. It was awesome. We could tell that story another time or later. It's actually a good story because I would have never went to Italy if my two friends didn't take the fall.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good story. Actually, I didn't do anything. They had to take the fall. But
You don't want to say it too much now.
No. It wasn't that bad.
We needed a turn.
It wasn't that bad. But the point is that it was a fight or whatever,
Right.
and they were gonna set the court date past the date that I had a flight to go work at 3-star Michelin restaurant in Italy, and the two of them were like, he had nothing to do with this, and then they let me go.
That's amazing.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, for sure. And
Are
I'm
you
still,
still-
and they're both married to my cousins, and they're my closest.
I was just gonna say, what's the deal? Who are they? You know?
Tiziano and Carmine.
Okay.
Carino. So, but where are we at? So Boulay. I also worked with what's his name from Blue Hill. I'm having a brain fart.
Dan Barber.
Dan Barber was on the line with me. So
Have you been to Blue Hill, Phil?
No.
That's surprising. Man.
I've never been either. to
You
be
know,
honest with
is there a no head tattoo policy? I mean, is there something?
Nobody's gonna say stop, don't come.
Nobody would ever say that to you.
No.
You got that smile, bro. You got that electric energy.
There's another one we're going to.
Blue Hill.
Yeah.
Blue Hill. I haven't been either. I've never went.
That's really
Road trip.
surprising,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's really surprising.
I think I've had too many people tell me that they've left hungry, and at $500 a person, I don't want to leave hungry.
We left starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were definitely one of the people who sold it.
Dude, needle in a haystack. Like
And you said you went with like another one of your chefs that was like bigger than you. And
We went with all our chefs.
They were like big guys, right?
Oh, they were huge. Like the weight at the table had to be 1,600 pounds. So they're like tag team champions. You know what I mean? Just massive dudes. You know. Sean
Yeah.
Norris, Mike Katz were the original, like one of the original crews at the inn.
Yeah.
We went as a celebration dinner when we got an excellent in
Yes.
the Times, and it
Yes,
was like
yes.
it was a huge deal. And I sent an email to the GM like, "We're coming in hungry. It's a celebration dinner."
Yeah.
It was such a flop, dude. And I hate to say that, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's hard.
18,
because you
22 minutes
these
between each
people-
course.
These people inspire you.
But the course was like a piece of pickled rhubarb.
Wait, the
it was
best,
one fucking
my,
grissini
no, my
this
favorite,
big.
my favorite is when you talk, because he's so good at telling stories, right? So he comes over, he tells me the story. And he goes, they come over and they're like, let me tell you about these potatoes. And he goes, they speak for 20 minutes about how these potatoes have been harvested, and then they come over and go, potato chips. And you're like,
Bro, we each got one potato chip. And I'm talking the average weight is 350 at the table.
Yeah.
I'm the little guy. What else do I need to say? One potato chip is a course, which is cool, but don't wait 18 minutes to bring me a pickled vegetable then. And then a salad. We got like 4 or 5 salad courses.
listen, we're from Jersey, we like to eat, so that's definitely
No doubt,
you know,
bro. And the bread, they were like, we were fucking hostages for bread. I swear to God. They're like, it's really special. We're going to get there. I asked for bread 6 times because my wife at this point had eaten, a piece of celery root, a piece of butternut squash, and something else that had been fucking pickled for 6.5 years. You know what I mean? And I was like, bro, just bread, please, bread.
Yeah.
It's really special. We're almost there.
Yeah.
2.5 hours into the meal, they brought us into the bread room, which was the best course, hands down by far. They grow their own grain, they mill their own grain,
No,
they
it's
mill their own flour.
It's an incredible place.
It's fucking sick. What they're doing there is more science and agriculture. I think it's going to turn into a cooking school or something at some point.
Yeah.
That's what I get from it, And there's other people who are like completely blown away, socks knocked off, like, best meal of my life. And I will say this. I was there on my 10th wedding anniversary, and we had an amazing time. It was Kristen and myself. Somebody made the res for us, and they just styled us out. It was a beautiful fucking night, start to finish.
Yeah.
We couldn't eat another morsel of food.
Yeah.
So the takeaway is don't go there hungry.
Don't go there hungry. So my pastry chef and her husband, Leticia and Mike, went to McDonald's on the way home. And my ass fell asleep 3 times. And 2 of my sous chefs had to leave to relieve their babysitters after 4.5 hours in. So it was rough, bro. I'm sorry. What the guy does, he's way better than I am in agriculture and, all that jazz. But at some point, we got to eat some food, brother. You know what I mean? Like, please, God, help us. Yeah. We were like begging the server. Wow. After a few hours, and we're like, just bring something. Like, is there any fucking rice laying around from family meal, bro? Like, what's up?
You learn, right?
Yeah.
So, fast forward a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Just for the time wise. So,
Sure.
cool. You learned you were going.
I did
work in
Boulay.
Italy. You
I
worked
did
in Italy a little bit too.
Well, after Boulay, I went to Bill Telepan for about 1.5 years. After that, I went to Paris, and I spent 3 months in Paris at a little 1-star Michelin bistro. The cool part was, it was like this old man. He was like 70 years old. He did all the cooking with like 2 assistants.
Fashion.
Small kitchen.
Yeah.
French fashion.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then the wife was in the dining room. So I spent a few months there, came home, and then I spent 2.5 years with John Jordan.
You met Clay when you were there, right?
That's right. I met my friend Clay Morton, Family Vineyards, out in Healdsburg, which is one of my favorite places. In
The
US.
guy's just a tremendous human being, dude.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting him last year at the dinner in Utah, in Park City.
So him and I have been.
Shout out Clay.
I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Clay and I were sitting, and his friend Ian Blackburn, who also is in the wine industry, the 2 of them are sitting next to me. We kind of sat at the same time. We started talking. We basically had dinner together. My table was next to theirs. I was by myself.
I was going to say, you're by yourself. Single
It was a Lon
diner.
Ducasse bistro.
Wow.
I went out to every restaurant by myself. I was eating 8 course because I wanted to absorb as much. Like, I was downloading food into my veins, you know?
Right.
So, racking up my credit card. But anyway, we became friends. We kept each other's contacts. He talked about he wanted to open up his own winery. I wanted to be, I wanted to be a chef and an owner of my own restaurant. Fast forward, I opened my own restaurant. He opens his own winery, and 20 years later, we've been doing events.
Awesome.
I've cooked at his winery multiple times.
His winery is where?
Healdsburg, so Sonoma.
Yeah, nice. Oh, wow.
Sick.
Amazing place. And when I cook there, his Zinfandel varietal grows vertical up the mountain of Lake Sonoma. So you have a view of Lake Sonoma, and we're right there on the mountain cooking like on these open fire grills, and it's for like 40 people. It's this wine club. It's the coolest event I've ever done. No offense, Park City, because Park City is banging.
Just, you got to give a little shout out to Park City. Like, what they do there is you know.
Another charity we work with, Red, White, and Snow. It's a charity that we cook for every year in Park City, Utah, and it provides for kids with disabilities. And the funding goes to teaching kids how to ski and do all types of outdoor sports.
It's
with
crazy.
disabilities. And honestly, I mean, I was telling you before we were talking about skiing and snowboarding. I'm a skier. I'm a dad skier. I'm like, you know, everybody passes me and makes fun of me, but I'm calm. This girl who is came and spoke at the dinner, full on disability, walking with two canes. I watched a video of her. She bombs down the mountain like a professional.
There's
like,
a high
Olympic
percentage.
skier.
What's the percentage? I don't know. I don't want to, spit improper facts, but a portion of all these kids go to the Olympics, go to the Special Olympics.
Yeah, she
It
was
was like
actually,
in the 80 percentile of this charity. It's insane.
Yeah, she
and
was-
they all come and speak at dinner. So the way they do it is they have a dinner at all these houses, right?
yeah, 10,000 square foot homes. They do. It's $1,000 a person, and all the money goes to Red, White, and Snow.
And one person comes to each dinner and speaks.
Red, White, and Snow is the event. The charity is National Ability Center.
National Ability Center. Check it out. That's dude, truly like so inspiring. The guy who came and spoke last year, no legs basically, Olympic skier, downhill, slalom, giant downhill. Like, dude,
it was wild.
The inspiration there, like I'm getting chills talking about it. It was really special, man. I appreciate the invite. So, it's a good time, man.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So, but yeah, fast forward. I went to where was I?
Italy.
I went to Paris, then I went to Italy. Worked for John George. I have to say, John George was the one that, like, the 2.5 years I spent there, I got my ass kicked, but like, for a good reason.
Yeah.
I wasn't the best cook.
What'd you learn there?
What?
What'd you learn there?
I learned how to taste. I learned how to develop, and I learned how to, just kind of do it my own way at my own pace. John George was there every single day, and so I can go to him. I can ask him questions. It wasn't Boulay, like, and don't get me wrong, I learned a lot at Boulay, but he was never there. He was in an office somewhere else. I never got to see him. To the fact that if I see Boulay today, I have to tell him who I am.
Right.
If I see John George, he gives me a hug. He says me hello. He knows my name. The guy's got 30,000 employees. He knows who I am. It's special to me.
It's very special.
It's a lot. And don't get me wrong, he's got a lot of guys that still work for him that I worked with, which is, they're a tight-knit group. And then all the guys I worked with, a lot of them are famous. Greg Gourdet and Angelo Sosa, Chris Lee. Like, these guys are huge, huge chefs now. So I got to work with some amazing guys, and I got to.
We went there for lunch on like a chef's outing, right?
Yeah.
We went to John George. We had a great time. John George is the nicest fucking guy, right? Yeah. I don't know if he just turned it on.
No, he's charming.
He's super charming, bro. And he's a great looking guy, and he's just like, he loves it. Yeah. You can tell it's still in him. You know what I mean? So we took pictures at the pass, and we're all like, it's just big smiles, man. And it's really great to see a guy at that level
be interested in who we are.
Yeah, like talking to us about our careers and stuff, really giving us his time, his undivided attention, which is the most important thing we can give somebody, right? Like today. So, and it's amazing.
And this has nothing to do with any of this, but I'm not big on, like, I don't care about me, like, meeting a celebrity is fun.
Yeah.
But he introduced me. He knew I was a Lenny Kravitz fan, and he introduced me to Lenny Kravitz when I was working there, and it was the coolest thing ever. He was stoned out of his mind, and I was just like, hi,
starstruck.
Like, it was but that's how John George was. He knew. The rule was you're not allowed to talk to celebrities, right? Yeah. But he brought Lenny Kravitz in the kitchen, called me over, and introduced me. So that's the kind of person he was.
Because he knew, like, you idolized this guy?
He knew I was like...
Lenny's still got to be one of the coolest people on planet fucking Earth, right? He just has that air about him, Yeah. His style, the way he is,
Age.
No. Dude, he's like... I want to say...
both good cheese. He's black and Jewish. No one else has to say.
That's amazing. A lot of people don't know that. They don't think about it, right? Kravitz, the guy's mom's Jewish, right? Yeah. Like, it's so funny.
Not like Shaquille.
Come here, Lenny. Like, it's just fucking...
Lenny.
Get down here. So at the end of my tenure at John George, the GM there, his name's Patrick Giovanni. He actually owns a restaurant in France now, but he was an Italian guy. He connected me to Enoteca Pinchiori. Enoteca Pinchiori is got the biggest wine list in all of Italy, 3-star Michelin for a long time, and I got to go there for 4 months.
Are they still around?
Oh my God, yeah. They're still 3-star Michelin.
Where are they?
Florence, Italy.
Yeah, I should have fucking visited, man.
It's an incredible place, and I got to see, you know.
I'm gonna be there in the.
Yeah, I'll give you all the information.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
You're coming still or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa. Hold on. We're talking.
The U is for everybody.
Okay.
It's for him.
When?
Use coming?
And then we're doing a rally. We're flying our cars over to Milan,
July.
and then
Nice. So you guys can go on the rally. I'll just stay in Italy.
That's fine.
That's okay.
Whatever it is, it is.
If I go to Italy without my wife, I've already gone
I'll
twice.
Afterwards, I'll show you how to do it. And still be married.
Okay.
By the way, that's part of the mentorship. You got to sign up, subscribe.
Learn all the hacks.
You got to pay for that information. It's not going to happen on
So
here,
I come back from Italy, and I said to my dad.
That plug was worth 10%, by the way, just so everybody's aware.
You keep a score. I'm
I come back, and I loved it so much. I said to my father, I want to go back. And my father's like, dude, you need to get a paying job.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I went out to work for free. And
How old were you at this point?
I was 24.
Okay.
And I had paying jobs. Like, all those Manhattan jobs were paying. But
Sure.
you're talking about, like, when I worked at Boulay,
$12.
I worked 70 hours a week. It probably came out to less. 70 hours a week. My net was like $330.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah.
How is he not in prison? Sorry. Like, Jesus Christ.
So I come back.
$5.45 minimum wage? That doesn't even work out to anyway, moving on.
So I come back, and I really wanted to go back, but I wanted to go work for a trattoria. I wanted to go like a little more casual. We'll learn the pasta making process and stuff like that. It never happened. So I had to teach all of that on my own. My grandfather taught me how to make the gnocchi. I got a job at Cafe Panache with Kevin Kohler. You know, rest in peace. Coolest guy ever. I worked for him for not a long time. I only worked for him for like 7 months as a sous chef. I was driving down Bloomfield Ave, and I see a for rent sign. Now, crazy guy that I am, I had a menu concept in my car that I kept. I pull over, I walk in, and because the guy was showing somebody the space, and I walk in, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in a restaurant space. And he's like, oh, the owners don't want a restaurant here. It was like an art gallery. Before that was Ace Bedding, if you guys remember. I don't know, it was a long time ago. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I go back to my car, and I see the menu sitting like in a folder, and I go, grab it, I go, can you give us the owners? I've worked in Manhattan, Italy, France, and I said, I don't want to just do some like Pop Boys joint. I want to do a nice upscale restaurant. And he's like, I'll give it to them, but they don't want any food. I said, cool. 2 days later, I get a call. They're interested. They want to come and talk to you. So I said, all right. Now I have no money whatsoever. I'm like sitting on maybe $10,000, like max at 24. And I go to my dad and I said, this guy wants to talk to me. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to negotiate.
Right.
And he's like, you also don't have any money. He's like, and my mom goes, let's do this together. She, after 9/11, she left working in Manhattan. She was the developer for Ladies Home Journal, Red Book. She did cookbooks for Dr. Atkins. Like her name's on Dr. Atkins cookbooks. So after 9/11, she was home. She was working part-time, doing some catering, stuff like that. And she's like, let's do it together. So we're talking about it. My dad's going to take a home equity loan to build this restaurant. And I said to my mom, Mom, I want to do this on my own. I said, but I want nothing to do with pastry. Do you want to be the pastry chef? So my mom takes the pastry chef job. I take the chef job. And then my brother, who's been working for Morgan Stanley for a few years now as a financial advisor, he wants to quit that job to be the manager of the restaurant. So now my father's like, all right, I got to put all my cards in.
Family business.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Better like each other.
So chef, manager, and pastry chef, and I used to call my dad the unsilent partner. So we meet.
Perfect title for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We meet. We open up a 48-seat restaurant, and that's where Jamie comes in. We used to take the bus together home from the city, and we've spoken. We didn't know each other real well, but we knew we ran around the same
And you guys
crowds.
are in the industry and everything.
Yeah.
too, so.
And I graduated with his brother. So I gave him a call. I don't know how we got connected.
So it's funny, actually. I got out of rehab, and
Makes sense.
Way to start a story.
I mean, it is what it is, right? I got out of rehab.
Like, who would hire me?
And I was living in Cedar Grove at the time with my parents, and you were like, I'm opening a restaurant, dude. And I came and we sat down and we talked. And I was like, look, I'm sober. I've been in rehab for 4.5 months. You know, at the time we opened it, I
was 25, so you had to been 23.
I almost had like a year at that point, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. We got in contact and that was it. And like the rest was history.
So we opened up Fascino and we hired a couple people. And do you remember the Dingwall and Diaz?
Of course.
List?
Yes.
So we had these two employees. One's last name was Dingwall, one was Diaz. And Diaz was a girl, Dingwall was a boy. Diaz said that her liver failed, so she needs to take the day off. And we're all going, wait, don't you die if your liver fails?
Yeah, like you need more than a day, right? Like,
right. And we're just we're like, okay, this is like a weekend, 2 weeks in, and the Dingwall guy was like, he was supposed to do salads. And he just like stopped coming. So whenever a customer would no-show for a reservation, we would put them on the Dingwall and Diaz list, meaning you're not allowed back. So the dishwasher I hired, 18-year-old kid named Ernesto Aguilar.
What is this, 2002?
2003.
2003, got it.
We hired Ernesto. So it's me and Jamie on the line cooking. Ernesto's doing salad, washing dishes, and then this other guy, Miguel, doing my mom's pastry. So my mom baked during the day, and then Miguel would plate at night. And he worked at Raymond's.
That's right.
When it was Restaurant 28.
And he would ride his bike down at like 4:30, right? Or 5 o'clock or whatever. Remember, he started like...
No, he was gone. He worked full time.
Oh, did he do full time?
He worked full time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he started half and half.
You know what? That might actually sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, I feel like
for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But then 28 closed and they were renovating.
That's
so
right.
he came to work for us
Full time.
And then I think he said he was going to go back when they opened Raymond's, and it took like 6 or 8 months, and then he never went back. And he stayed for 10 years. But anyway, so Jamie and I are cooking on the line. We're like, I don't know, 3 months in, and we get an excellent in the New York Times. We're closed Sunday and Monday, right? No, we're closed. We're closed Sundays. We're open Monday through Saturday. So Jamie and I start getting like I think it was Anthony. What's his name?
Lapinto.
Anthony Lapinto, who we know, and he's still out there.
There was only 2 of us doing everything at this point.
So on Monday,
Literally. So it got busier every day.
Yeah.
Before the New York Times. It was
before the Times.
Yeah, it was like 12, 18,
So
26.
So what we would do is I would take off on a Monday. He would cook on Monday night, so I could have an extra day off, and then he would take a Monday off. So we get the New York Times review on a Sunday. It's an excellent, which is one off of extraordinary. The only other person that got extraordinary was Restaurant Nicholas. Nicholas Harari got an extraordinary.
I didn't even know they had extraordinary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was excellent and then extraordinary.
I really didn't even know that was a category.
I'm pretty sure there was.
Okay.
So anyway, I go in because I just had nothing to do that day. But I went in like a dress shirt. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
And Jamie starts to get hammered, and I just happen to be walking in. And I had like this Dolce & Gabbana shirt on. I took it off and put the apron on. So I'm back there cooking in no shirt and an apron because I didn't want to ruin the fucking shirt. And that was it. We were killing it.
That became our uniform, though. We wore guinea tees and Nike headbands and listened to like 50 all day, right?
I don't want my cooks to hear this because I make them wear uniforms.
Dude, we wore fucking... Tell them what it was, man. That's what it was. It was hot in the kitchen in the summer.
It was hot.
And we wore guinea tees and headbands and played rap.
It was fun.
And prep all day.
When did you open?
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
So you also...
Get rich or die trying.
So you also...
That's when it came
I
out.
started to go there, I think in like 2011 or 12. I went there a few times. But I also know, just because we're short on time, then you started doing some consulting, right? You had Nico at JPack?
I opened up Fascino in 2003. I opened up Barcara in 2007 or 8. And then I opened up Nico like 2010.
That's NJ
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam Rose there.
Yep, Adam Rose was the CDC.
Also a Nutley guy.
First consulting job, which was kind of weird because when you get hired to do a consultant job, you're supposed to be hired because you're an expert at something.
Yeah.
But really, I got hired just to put my recipes on. And honestly, you know, the group that I worked with is based out of Texas. They taught me so much about like large format, writing recipes and stuff like that.
It was a different crowd too. Yeah.
Oh my God,
crowd.
totally. We were getting calls at Fashion being like, oh, you know, food wasn't as good as it is here. And you're like, did you go there on the night of a show? They're like, of course. Who else go? Why else would I go there?
Yeah.
I'm like, they do 300 people in like 1 hour.
Right.
You know? So, but I did that for 6 years.
Wow.
3.5. Yeah, it was 2 3-year contracts. But Bar Cara was open for 3.5 years. During that 3.5 years, my brother decided to leave the business. It just wasn't fit for his family. He wanted to go back to financial. Bar Cara did okay, but it wasn't crushing it.
Yeah.
So we decided to sell it. We sold it. And right before we put it up for sale, a person I met through Clay Morrison, his name's Corey Checkett, who's now my business partner. He came in for dinner one night, and I sat and spoke to him. He loved Bar Cara. He loved what I was doing, and he was just like, "Hey, I want to show you this space." And he brought me to this space in Jersey City. I loved it, but my family comes first. Yeah. My father was stressed out. My brother was stressed out.
You were kind of maxed out at this point.
I didn't know what to do. Bar Cara needed my attention. Fashion needed my attention. And I just went to Corey, and I was just like, listen, I'm like, there's no way I could do this. I'm like, if I can connect you to a chef, I will. I said, but I'm not ready for it, and I don't want to not be able to give you the time that's needed. So I connected him to a couple chefs. I'm sure they're not happy that they didn't go through with it because Patello is the restaurant we're talking about, and it's been, you know, crushing it for 10 years, other than a couple of the closures.
COVID or whatever. Yeah.
Well, and the pier too.
Yeah.
Things you had no control over those things, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Acts of God, basically.
So we opened, March, Patello will be open 10 years.
Wow.
Yep. So, and, you know, I've been operating the kitchens. Corey and Joe, also a Nutley guy, Joe Calafiore. The three of us operate Patello, Kitchen Step, and now our two new places, Ember and Eagle, and Tilling House. Joe's wife, Dominique, who worked for me at Fashion as a server, she's the event planner. She oversees Patello and...
Where's she from?
Montclair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was a Nutley girl.
No, she was friends with Nutley guys. She was actually really good friends with Josh Means.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's funny. Yeah.
She went to school with Josh's sister.
Small world, man.
But that being said, so she worked for me in Montclair. I brought her in to be the event planner at Patello.
Were her and Joe together at this point?
No, they met. They met working together, and then they.
Did you officiate their wedding?
No, they went.
Did you write the rule after that?
No.
Was it at Patello?
No.
Did they?
No, they got married in Rhode Island, and they were supposed to get married in Sicily. We all had this like crazy trip planned. We were all going to go for like 2 weeks, and
COVID.
no, pandemic happened. No,
Same thing.
yeah, same thing. But I'm thinking is that or the pier? No, it was pandemic. Yeah.
So what do you like? Talk about what you have now, what you just opened. Right?
Yeah.
So and also like Fashion.
Yeah. So Fashion turned 20 years old June 30th, which is my dad's birthday. We opened it on my dad's birthday, which I think is quite a luck charm, you know, for Fashion, because you know he's the one who provided to get the place open, and so we opened it on his birthday. We went 20 years. We sold it. We sold it to our manager, Mary.
Somebody who worked for you guys.
Yeah, Mary and
Which is
Logan.
fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Mary's was the GM. Logan was my CDC, and he also was a cook at Patello for a period of time. I mean, the kid's wildly talented. He's trained at Gramercy Tavern.
It's best case scenario,
Yeah,
right?
so
Like,
yeah, keep it in house.
yeah, I mean, that's
To give them a shout out, Joy and Mia.
Yeah.
They just got on the best new restaurants list of NJ monthly, and so did Kinjo
so did Kinjo.
and Ember and Eagle,
Nice. Man.
which was literally
Bill
just
Sanders, I'm coming for you for a tasting after this, brother. Let's go.
I don't have one on there. But...
Yeah. Yeah, you know that. All your fucking friends are chefs. It's inevitable, dude.
Seriously.
Like, it's inevitable.
Like going to the barbershop. Eventually you gotta have.
He
getting a
knows the
haircut,
worst
baby.
investment is a restaurant. Right?
Yeah, no, I know that.
Oh, he's not going to use his own money. Don't worry about it. That's a different episode, right?
Yeah. And I need to get on that mentorship because
Listen, OPM, baby. Other people's money.
Yeah,
You know,
so
there's a Portuguese fund coming to a town near you.
Or country.
yeah, so we sold it, and listen, you know,
Bittersweet, right? Like
it was bittersweet. Fashion had its ups and downs,
So, yeah,
like every
21.
business.
20 years,
We
dude.
lasted 20 years.
What are the odds, right?
Yeah.
First year is a certain percentage.
Fucking
they don't last
3%.
five,
Or
yeah.
less.
Listen, and we would have lasted,
Yeah.
but you know, my parents in their early 70s, they didn't want to be a
Yeah.
part of it. Amber and Eagle needed my full attention.
Correct. It's better.
Listen, it started as a family restaurant, right? You guys were there all the time, every day, and that's kind of what set it apart for a long time,
The
right?
trick is in any business, any relationship, because a business is a relationship,
Yeah.
knowing when to end it.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
100%.
A lot of us emotionally hang on to things and fuck it up even worse. And now you fuck up two places,
Yeah,
right?
and it made me who I am
Gave
today.
the opportunity
It did.
to this kid
It did.
to step up and do, you know what I mean? You get them a
100%.
break, and at the same time, you
Yeah.
get to do what you love.
Listen, I've been on
And you guys probably got it, what you put into it, right? On the
100%. Yeah.
So I mean, plus
Listen, Batello honestly is 10 times bigger, and I don't mean by the size of it because it's a big restaurant. I mean bigger as in what Batello has become over the last 10 years. But if you sit down and or if you introduce me to somebody and I say that I'm a part of, I'm the owner of Fascino, they're gonna know that like first.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it got me so much. I mean, I had 2 internet cooking shows, one with the New York Post. We did 22 episodes. I was on the Today Show 10 or 12 times. And
a
I've been
regular.
yeah, I was a regular up until
Full
pandemic.
circle to the acting.
Speaking of Today's Show, you guys got to get me back in. I'm ready to cook. I was on right before the
My
pandemic.
man's calling out the Today Show,
Nah,
like, yo, what's up?
Listen,
bro?
I'm his agent. I'm going to represent him.
That's Lonnie. That's not true. Lonnie Sweet Management. He takes care of me.
There you go.
See that?
We
You
can
get it?
collaborate. There you go.
No, but you know, listen, we sold it.
Yep.
Kitchen Step has been open 8 years in February.
And you're at the airport.
We did a branding deal at the airport, which has been incredible because the brand new Terminal A, we're the biggest restaurant at the end. At the end,
It's
of the,
gorgeous, bro.
They call it a hammerhead, which I did not know what that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's at the end of the hammerhead. As soon as you walk, at the end, you have this huge, massive tree and bar and 200 seats, and it's not a tablet restaurant; it's a full-service restaurant. So you're getting someone coming, talking to you, taking your
What are
order.
their numbers like at that? They just do fucking volume, right? It's sick, isn't it?
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I have to say the last few months have been kind of like weird, you know, but it's big numbers.
I want to add something too. Like, so what I like about you too, and I've seen through the years is
Wait, hold on. Kitchen Step Airport's up for best new airport restaurant too.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yo, that's amazing, dude. Wow.
Thank you.
Good for you,
Thank
man.
you. Yeah.
It was a fucking nightmare to get it off the ground, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. I have to.
It's in an airport.
And you want to hear something funny? You know how we keep this circle small? Adam Rose helped me in the beginning. He helped me get the recipes together.
I was going to segue into Adam Rose. He fucking
Yeah, listen. You know,
But I was going to say, right, like with that, it was like,
this gray hair got me the OG, you know.
I like this because I've been
Stamp of
following
approval?
I've been following Adam for a while too, and it's cool how you have these relationships that you build with people and you incorporate them into your next endeavors. That's what I want to say, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Because I know I taught them. They got Sparrows in Montclair, right? Best fucking sandwich place.
Sparrows and Ramsey.
And Ramsey too, right?
Yeah.
And they're at the airport, which was
They were at the airport. They actually decided to not continue that.
But you gave them the opportunity.
But Adam's definitely focusing on growing his business. He's a smart guy, and
He is.
know,
Montclair kills it.
yeah.
I mean, we eat there
way too much.
pretty often. I eat there way less
I'm
now.
so lucky that he has it in Ramsey because it's 10 minutes from my house now. I live in Bergen County now over the last 3 years, and we don't have much up there when it comes to sandwich or fine dining.
It's true.
I don't mean that.
Yeah.
Jamie's the closest restaurant to me from where I live, which is still takes me about 22 minutes to get to, which is not far.
And I think he's been there 0 times since he moved to Wyckoff. Here it comes. Wait.
Can we? The guy doesn't save tables for his boys.
It sounded like an invite.
That's exactly what it is, bro. That's what it is.
Put me in for 4 Saturday.
Any day, anytime, man. This Saturday we have a wedding.
I see.
Pick a different Saturday.
Yeah, listen.
On Tuesday nights, bro.
Let's
Sorry.
get into your new venture, just because we're on
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I want to hear about that. Everybody wants to hear about that.
Amber and Eagle at the Tilling
I'll
House.
tell you something funny about Bergen County. We were negotiating 2 deals. We were negotiating Market Basket, which you know the space,
Yep.
and which is 5 minutes from my house. I could walk there, and then we were negotiating Sun Eagles Golf Course. Sun Eagles Golf Course is in Eatontown, New Jersey. It's literally 5 minutes from Long Branch, Red Bank area. It's off of exit 105. The guys come to us from Sun Eagles Golf Course. Amazing. Sal Martelli, Sal Jr., and Mickey Daly. They came to us and they said, we want to bring you guys in as the food and beverage operators for the whole project. So Corey, Joe, and I, put our heads together. I was dying to open up a steakhouse, but the biggest thing is that the margins in a steakhouse, they're tough unless you're busy, right? But being at a golf course, I was like,
Steak.
a men's place, right?
Right.
Right.
Smart.
But I also wanted it to be feminine enough that women wanted to go. So we created this Italian influenced steakhouse called Ember and Eagle. And it's got a Rat Pack vibe to it. And we're booking 30 days out. And what's wild is it's the same thing as like I joke about you with Saddle River Inn because we don't save tables either. And I feel like we need to figure that out. But we're only a 90-seat restaurant, right? But we open the book 30 days.
Same.
And boom, it's full. So people are hitting me up saying, can you get me in, next week? Can you get me in 2 weeks? And I'm like, I can get you at 10 o'clock, And I don't mean that in like an obnoxious way. It's just that we decided not to save tables. We probably, we're talking it over and trying to figure it out. But like, if I'm getting hit up 3 or 4 times a week, that means Corey's getting hit up, Joe's getting hit up, Sal's getting up, Sal Jr.'s getting up, Mickey's getting up, Sal Martelli's getting
Right.
Everybody's getting hit up. We can't save. If we save 3 tables per person, that's the whole.
It would never happen.
It's
It
a
would
whole
be
restaurant.
one table. It's
And you're
table
really- you couldn't
24.
prepare for it.
Yeah.
nothing.
It's table 24 and it's Thursdays.
We're also-
and that's it.
yeah.
Like,
We're-
you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be that way.
We're also only open 4 days a week right now. Now, the plan is in the spring, we're open up 5 days. We're going to open up on Sundays. And we're also opening up a 50-seat patio.
Sunday's is big.
Sunday's big, especially down by the
That's what I
shore.
was gonna say, yeah.
A lot of people don't call it the shore if you live down there. But for northern,
It's the
I
shore.
call it the shore.
South Jersey.
Right? So we're going to open up a 50-seat patio overlooking the golf course.
Oh, wow.
So
It's fucking
and that's going to be,
beautiful, by the way.
I think that's going to be first come, first serve. So that'll get people,
It's gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
I took the whole nickel tour when I was there, man. Congratulations. It's just
Thank you.
It's drop dead, bro. It's really fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Great spot.
And you have the event space there too.
So there's an event space called Tilling House. We could fit up to 400 people
And you
in
guys
the
are running
ballroom.
that too?
We're running that as well. We booked, we didn't start booking anything till September. So we were late to the game for 2024. We still have 26 weddings booked.
Holy shit.
We have golf outings booked and we have private events booked.
The ballroom is a fucking football field, brother.
Yeah.
It's insane. How big is that
But
ballroom?
we're building a partition to like make it,
More intimate for smaller events.
150,
right?
100.
Right.
Patello is known for its 175 person weddings. No one wants to have a 175 person wedding in a 400 person space.
Right.
So we're building something to make it look smaller, to close it off a little bit.
Just to make it more intimate and sexy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good problem to have.
So
And you just opened that how many months ago?
October we opened.
October.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's crushing it. And we have a bright future for sure. And we have a lot of things. We don't have anything working down the line. We're going to focus on this. I think that for us, like, it's funny. I see a lot of our friends opening restaurant after restaurant. Not all of them, but some of them. I like to focus on something big that could bring in,
Volume.
a volume that could really take care of us for life. But it's going to take us
Of course,
3
you
years
gotta,
to make it.
You got to
like,
do
right.
all those steps before that to get there.
Yeah. I mean, Patello, your weddings are booked 2 years out, and our restaurant's full every
I
day.
want to get back to one thing. You said when you met with Corey and he brought you to Patello,
Yeah.
you couldn't do it at that time.
Yeah.
How did it work out?
So we got a buyer real quick for Barcara, and the transaction happened fast and furious. And when I say fast and furious, it took 90 days.
I was going to say
That's
3
fast.
months.
Yeah.
That's
At the end of 90 days, I reached out to Corey and I literally called him just to like shoot the shit and be like, hey, how's that project going? Did you hear from any of the chefs? He's like, no, none of the chefs worked out. And he goes, I'm closing the deal next week. I'm signing the papers next week. And I was like, wait, you didn't do it yet? And he's like, no. I'm like, I'm available. And he's like, really? So we met, we talked, we struck a deal. And I came on as a managing partner. And Joe, you know, Joe's like the silent like ninja of like running the operations, and he does so much. So grateful to like have him come in. Corey brought him in to like, I think he was like started to bartend and assistant manage.
Really?
Yeah. And,
wow, I didn't know that.
And he completely trumped the manager that was there, and nothing can be done for Kitchen Step and Patello without Joe, you know? And the three of us, we work well together. Do we fight? Of course.
Yeah.
You know, do we disagree? Of course. But we are so good together. We know how things need to run for our business. We care. We put a lot of love into it. And I think that's why we're getting the I can't say the word. Accolades. And, you know, that we need.
What's I know you were like you don't have nothing in the works, but like what's your goal?
My goal? Listen.
I know you're picturing a number in your head.
That's all right.
I don't.
Works too.
Listen, if it's a salary, it's a salary. No, but I'm just
reverse it too.
I don't want I don't want to do more and make less.
Yeah, no
obviously.
Shit. Yeah.
You know, and that saying work smarter, not harder, it's definitely on my mind. Would I be able to walk away with what I have now and live the rest of my life? Yeah, I can. My wife says it to me all the time. She's like, you're not done. Because I'll say to people, this is it. This is the last project and I'm done. And she's like, you're not done. I know you're not done. And I have a couple ideas that I want. I have one concept that I want to do that would be more for growth quickly. Like small little...
like a fast casual kind of thing that could
pizza
blow
parlor.
up.
I want to open up a pizza parlor.
Okay.
I fucking love pizza.
Me too.
Yeah. But I want it to be like
It's my next thing.
I want it to be like walk in only, you know, and just do you know like I don't want to use this as an example because I don't want them to think there's a place in Denville called the Pasta Shop.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like tiny little restaurant. I want it to be like pizza parlor where the pasta's made fresh, the pizza's made, you know, in front of everybody. I know this sounds redundant.
So Italian.
But it's, you know, listen, I'm putting an RD stamp on it, right? And I want to do that, but I want to do it like 10 units and sell, you know? That would be something I want to do. And then two, listen, I love the cooking webisodes. I loved doing the Today Show. Loved it. I love being in front of the camera. And I keep saying, I say it every year. I'm like, I'm going to start filming quick cooking videos.
Like at home?
Either at home or in the kitchen there. I want them to be like, you know, those 60-second videos, how-to videos. Fun, you know, eccentric and just like, you know.
Right.
Because that's where it's at. Social media is where it's at, right?
Online.
You know?
Absolutely.
I dreamed of being on the Food Network. What's on the Food Network? It's all game shows.
Yep.
Right? There's really no cooking shows.
Everything's online.
You know, unless you do a travel show, which I've always wanted to do as well. But you have to have a big following and a big name for someone to take a bet on you.
Do you think Anthony Bourdain had a big following when he started?
Well, he did because of the book. The New York Times number seller. You know, if I write a book and I get a New York Times #1 seller,
Right.
they're going to.
I forgot about that.
In.
It's the only book. This is a fact.
Listen,
I read twice.
I gave a shout out to Lonnie. Right, Lonnie Sweet owns Sweet Management Group. He oversees Luda Lefebvre, Mark Forgione. He's got a group of very high-end chefs.
Okay.
Nina Compton.
Okay.
And I've worked on and off with him for the last 5 years. But I'm like a nobody client. Like
right.
He gets like a small job. He gives it to me. BMW cooking videos.
Right. Which worked out great.
It did work out. He got me cooking videos with Google, Christmas videos I did, like, you know, but they were like fun jobs in front of the camera. I want to do it on my own.
Why aren't you setting it up?
You know, I guess the loss of, you know, the pier closing for 19 months and pandemic, you know, I feel like I'm constantly catching up and making, and now I just invested a ton of money down the shore. So to invest in the cooking videos.
You know, all you gotta do is put a camera.
I know. It's the editing part.
You don't gotta do that either.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I'm gonna make it simple for you, right? Just because we do this a lot too. Just capture the content.
Yeah.
Just capture it. Don't worry about all the other steps. You're putting too many steps in front of it already.
Yeah.
And you're already like, I can't. get the fucking camera, get 2 cameras. You know,
Yeah.
just record
Yeah.
it, mic'd up. You know, it's
Yeah.
wireless mic right now.
Yeah.
You know, once they
And
hit
then-
play and
and then-
record, bro. You're
Yeah.
It happened. Fuck up a bunch of times because that's what happens.
Yeah.
And you learn.
Yeah.
Talk to fucking Marvin. He'll
Yeah.
fucking edit it for you, or he has somebody that will.
Yeah.
Listen, none of us are.
Well, I actually have a guy that we're trying to set up a date. We're gonna do three videos to start.
Yeah.
He's been doing the Ember and Eagle videos for me, and they've been great.
They're great. They really are.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do it.
Plus, you look like the Italian John Stamos, dude. You gotta play off that shit a little bit. You know what I mean?
Pretty good.
That's a compliment.
Dude. It's a compliment.
Yeah.
Fucking come on, dude.
Yeah.
Stamos
Corey
He
always
didn't say Bob Saget.
My partner Corey always busts my balls, calling me George Michael.
All right, I mean, you know,
You can say
It's the turtleneck.
Yeah.
How about Giorgio Michele, the Italian one? You know what I mean? Oh, Giorgio, che cosa si fa?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, and and you know, listen, if it helps my brand, that's all I care about. You know, I just enjoy it, and you know that's really it. And try to balance life and be with my family. You know, I got 3 kids. One's 18 that I definitely probably didn't spend as much time as I could with. You know, and I'm trying now because of the work time that I put in. I'm still putting in the work time, but like the cool thing is he loves food. So like we're going out to restaurants now. He snowboards, I ski.
He's 18.
He's 18.
You got like 60 more years to fucking get acquainted with it.
Yeah.
Bro.
And
Yeah,
dude,
right?
once he starts he starts doing electric and stuff, and finds he's making his own money, it'll
Save,
build this
you
real.
save money building out your pizzerias.
Yeah. And he always got. That's it, man.
That's great, dude.
Yeah,
That's great.
we're
You do
hoping-
what your dad did. It becomes all vertical. The whole family starts working for you.
No. I don't want to listen. It was the greatest 20 years, but like, you know, it's tough.
Of course.
You know, and
Time-wise and everything.
It puts different strains on a family too,
yeah.
though.
And you talk about it
I work with my wife. I know.
24/7.
That's true.
You know, and the minute we sold the restaurant, we stopped talking about it. And
So listen, tell everybody, right, the name of your new restaurant, your new ventures, and where they can find you.
so, chef_RD on Instagram. Give a follow. I definitely do a lot of fun stuff on there. Also, Batello in Jersey City, which everybody knows. Kitchen Step in Jersey City. Kitchen Step at the Newark Terminal A Airport. And then we have our new spot, Ember and Eagle Italian Influenced Steakhouse, and our event space where you can book any type of private event, Tilling House, in Eatontown. Come check us out.
The sound system's insane down there, dude. It's
It's a beast.
ridiculous.
It's a beast.
Yep.
So I
Go
appreciate you
throw a
guys.
party.
I look up to both of you. Appreciate having you as friends, and you know, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
This was a long time in the waiting,
you so
brother.
much.
Appreciate you, man. Love
Yeah.
you, bro. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
See you on
it.
the next episode.